Bruce Cassidy jumbled lines some on Thursday night, but the veteran line of Cup champions stole the show as VGK knocks off the LA Kings in a convincing fashion at 5-2.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Tony Cardasco along with Chris Golick. You could find us each and every day wherever you get your podcast. Also follow us on Twitter at LockedOnVGK, at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G, and check out that YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights, and please subscribe. So, Chris, sometimes we really do wonder why Bruce Cassidy jumbles the lines. And last night he looked like a champion. It looked like a stroke of genius, if you will, as he assembled the line that has won 4 Stanley Cups between them with Ivan Barbashev, Chandler Stevenson, and Phil Kessel. And so you have Stevenson and Barbashev with 1 cup, Kessel with 2, and they combined last night for 7 points, each of them scoring an early goal en route to a big win, a 4-goal first period, and a 5-2 victory over the Kings that pretty much puts the LA Kings to rest as far as winning the Pacific Division. So a very impressive win for the VGK.
The Stanley Cup line, I like that, actually. I actually was pulling up the lines from last night. I was trying to see if there's any other Stanley Cup winners up and down the lineup, and I don't think they're on the forward side, obviously. So that's interesting. I loved line combinations when they got leaked out during practice, looking up and down them. You love what Barbashev has done up on line 1, but he's more of a line 3, even line 4 type of player. Definitely line 3, maybe line 4 is a little too low, but he has the offensive punch, as we saw last night. But he's also very good on the defensive side of the puck and plays a very responsible game. Stevenson's been having trouble. They've been spinning the dials, trying to find a way to get him going. And he got going last night. He got a goal, and he was involved in some of the other goals as well. Line 3 got the first 3 goals, if I recall, watching the game last night. And it was just, give this game to Cassidy. We were pretty critical of Cassidy not too long ago when Dorfia was taken out of the lineup, and they had a rough game. Now you look at this game, Cassidy won this game at the morning practice.
Yeah, they really did. And he said that they worked on the forecheck, and that was outstanding last night. Really did make mincemeat out of the 1-3-1. Oh, I just enjoyed every time I heard about the 1-3-1. How vicious. I feel as though, and I think we discussed this some, the Kings just have been fading a little bit, the past couple of weeks here, the past week or so, because, look at the schedule. It's just been really tough on them in Edmonton and, of course, VGK. And then on Saturday, they're taking on Colorado, and they had all those games in a short span of time. So I really felt that things caught up with them as well. And then no Fiala. And again, they didn't start with Copley in net. So VGK back to a 3-goal lead over Edmonton. And then LA now 6 behind. And the early goal that was waved off, that was key for the Kings, because then VGK came back just a matter of seconds later, and that's when Kessel scored the goal, the first goal, just within a half a minute, I believe. And then after that, it just was not an avalanche. Can we call it an avalanche, even though they're not the Avalanche? But, of course, just things started to spiral out of control in that contest.
Huge momentum shift. And, when you're watching the game live, it's hard to key in on the entry, right? Unless you're really watching for it. And the second I heard offside challenge, it's coming back. The offside challenge is almost 100%. I don't have numbers to back that up, but I feel like Cassidy is perfect in that regard. And then obviously later in the game, of course, VGK had one taken back for the same reason. When offsides is challenged, it's coming back many, many, many more times than it isn't. And that was a rough first goal that was given up. Typical spot where you got a shot from the right circle. You have two Kings alone in front of the net, and Brossoit, he's not going to see that shot. The only way he's stopping is if it bounces off of him. So, big momentum shift, but I don't think it's an entirely different game if that goal stands, right? I mean, LA just didn't have their best. Last night was not best on best by any means. Not to take anything away from the VGK efforts, but the Los Angeles Kings just were not ready for last night's game, kind of like Vegas against Nashville the other night and stuff like that. So, it was nice to see VGK all but lock up home ice advantage in the first round. This pretty much puts them in the second seed, no questions asked. And now we're starting to talk about clinching scenarios for the Vegas Golden Knights. 4 points will take the Pacific, or any, if my math is right, VGK victory and an Edmonton regulation loss, I think also secures up the Western, the Pacific, and actually home ice probably in the West as well.
Yeah, they're very close to securing home ice in the West throughout the playoffs. And Laurent Brossoit started. We talked about that yesterday. We felt as though he would be in net. It was no surprise. 30 saves. He's 5-0-3 in regulation. And, I just think that it was the right move again by Cassidy. Why put Quick out there? And just, again, it's a distraction on top of everything else. Quick has not been the sharpest of the two currently. So I thought that was a good move. And definitely not a surprise. We weren't shocked.
Well, I wasn't shocked based on once we saw that Brossoit was starting on Monday. Once I saw that, you knew what was happening on Thursday. And the Kings fans in attendance, they were fun last night. They got a couple of guys got a little squirrely, but for the most part, the Kings fans were great. And literally at puck drop, they're all trying to start a "We Want Quick" chant, and it was a good time. But Jonathan Quick, interesting stat. He's accounted for 11 VGK points down the stretch right now, as far as when he's been in net. So that's certainly something of importance to acknowledge what he's done so far. And listen, he's here to do anything he can to help this team win. If that's between the pipes, if it's talking to Brossoit and Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson, between games in practice, if he's going to be a scratch, which honestly, it seems like we now have Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson both on the ice. They have not returned with the VGK formally, but they are in pads getting work in right now. So they're probably going to be practicing, I would assume, maybe even as early as today if they're going to practice before they go out to Dallas. And, it's going to be interesting. You're listening to Bruce Cassidy in the postgame last night, trying to read between the lines about the goalie situation. And, he tries to be coy, but he also, like, his honesty gets the best of him in those pressers sometimes. And, it was, well, these are the two guys right now. We'll see if and when we can get one of the other two guys back on the ice. So, there's still a lot of questions between the pipes as far as who. But the question that we don't have is, will it be a good effort? Will whoever is in net, whoever of the four goalies is going to be in net, will we have an opportunity to win that game? And the answer is pretty much going to be yes. Sure, Jonathan Quick has not been the best of those four goalies, but he's been serviceable. And, Patera also did a good job. But if you replace Patera with all those starts that Quick had, are we talking about a clinching scenario with 3 games to go? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah. And last night it did get a little dicey there with Zach McEwen boarding Ben Hutton. And then Nick Hay comes to the defense, and we saw McEwen 5-minute major for boarding, 5 for fighting, like the group, right? And then Haig with a 10-minute misconduct as well. And the power play, when everything shook out, was scored by Nick Waugh. So, but they were saying, okay, so as far as I know, Haig has not fought often. So I've got, of course, the Dasco Media Center with the TV, the radio, and everything else in between going on. I tried to see if the new Love is Blind episodes were out at the same time. That's another story. But they were saying on the radio side, on state-run radio, that Haig is one of the elite fighters in the NHL. With just a second fight. Come on.
Haig's a big boy, and
yes,
the way
I
Haig
get all
fought
that.
last night,
Is he an
sure. I mean,
elite
he
fighter?
definitely is someone I'd rather not encounter on the ice
Right.
if I were to board Ben Hutton. Someone who fights that little, you can't ever call him an elite
Nick
fighter.
Haig among the elite fighters in the NHL. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
Zdeno Chara. So Chara is of similar size, maybe a few inches taller.
But he
And
fights a
Chara
lot.
he did, but he also tried to avoid it because he knew every time he entered a fight with someone, he was going to absolutely maul them. And people would keep on challenging Chara to make a name for themselves. And they leave the fight on a stretcher. I mean, is Haig going to have that same type of effect? We're not going to go that far. But last night, Haig did beat the absolute crap out of McEwen. Call it what it is.
Yeah, he won. It was a 10-8 round, so it was pretty good. Coming up next, we'll talk about VGK traveling to Dallas on Saturday for a matinee against the Stars. We preview that game next when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. When you're drafting your fantasy team, do you ever wish that you could handpick the best stars for your business team? If you're building your talent roster, you need Indeed. And Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, you can interview, and you can hire all in one place. So don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you could do it all with Indeed. Find the top talent, and you could do it fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like matching, assessments, and virtual interviews. If you hate to wait, well, Indeed's U.S. data shows that over 80% of the Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment that they sponsor a job. And candidates you invite to apply on Indeed through Instant Match are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in the search. That according to U.S. Indeed data. So join over 3 million businesses worldwide, and you can use Indeed as well to hire the great talent and fast. Indeed knows when you're growing your own business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applications that match your must-have job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/lockedon to start hiring today. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. And the cost per application pricing is not available for everyone. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. And we come to you from Las Vegas each and every day. Have a terrific holiday weekend. It's Easter weekend. It's Good Friday today for everyone that observes.
Which is why we have no hockey games today. Good Friday. That's why there's no hockey today.
All right. You jumped, man. Okay. We're going to do WTF later.
I was going to do it too. So I wanted to make sure I got it before you. So cheers.
You got it in. Cheers, man. Okay, YouTube channel, please subscribe. Locked On Golden Knights. So, as you mentioned, Chris, Golden Knights can clinch. Do you guys there in the Golick household, do you dye Easter eggs? Oh, just give me the tradition. Just go ahead.
Yesterday was mommy and daddy getting the stuff ready for the weekend, as the kids will do their hunt on Sunday morning and everything, and they'll have a good time doing that. Sometime either today or tomorrow I'll be dyeing eggs and all that fun stuff. Family coming over Sunday, and it'll be a nice time.
Okay, on the Easter egg hunt, do you sometimes maybe throw some over the neighbor's fence, and so they can't find those, or no?
No, we don't want to. Our neighbor situation is pleasant here, but it can be dicey at times. So we're just gonna go right down the middle here.
Sorry to go there. Okay, so VGK can clinch the Pacific with the win over the Stars, and in Edmonton lost to San Jose. As you mentioned, they're playing on the road. I don't think that's going to happen, but in any event, they will draw closer to clinching the division with a win. Pete DeBoer's Stars, they're in that dogfight over in the Central Division. Colorado, Minnesota faded. They lost last night, I believe, to Pittsburgh. And so the Avs have the game in hand. And it's just become a really good race there. Colorado and Dallas, 100 points each. I can't believe in the West, all these teams that have 100 points or more. And Minnesota now with 98. So they're going to have to make up some ground. But it's been a fun race there. And, the dog division, out of every division in hockey, we thought as well, too, well, the Pacific isn't very strong. But look at them now, too. So this is going to be a big matchup. for the VGK, because they want to not just win this game, they have to win it convincingly, and they have to pay back the Dallas Stars for a couple of wins that they won here, a couple of times they won here in Vegas.
We owe Dallas a game. My cliche quote of the season so far. Dallas in the Pete DeBoer welcome back game wiped the ice with us, and then
Pete the
VGK
Beer
had a nice lead, multiple goal lead, and coughed it up, and eventually lost via shootouts, I believe it was.
Yeah, Jason
And
Robertson
that was
and
Brossoit, his best, most amazing game of his probably NHL career. Oh boy, here comes the sun.
No, that was
the glove
save,
save, the glove save. Yes, but you were faced, and the shot would have come from behind you when it happened. So I mean, listen, Brossoit had an amazing game. He's probably going to go on Saturday. He's probably going to go all the way down the stretch unless one of our other VGK goalies comes back to health. Now, if VGK is able to clinch as soon as possibly Saturday, I guess when Edmonton's back in action next, then I could see them, giving Quick at least one of the last two games to give Brossoit some rest, who is penciled in to be the game one playoff starter, but that still is subject to change. Aiden Hill's not going to bump him out. Logan Thompson, if he does get a quality start down the stretch, could potentially bump out Brossoit. I wouldn't be against that. I mean, if Logan Thompson, he's been the man, right? He's been the man all season, did a very good job. Brossoit in his limited starts has done very well. He is undefeated in regulation, so that's important. Aiden Hill has been phenomenal all season in his role. So this is, Cassie's got some choices to make right now. And if his ability to make good lineup choices was on display last night against the LA Kings, we're going to be just fine.
Yeah, the shootout winners, Jason Robertson and Rupe Hintz scored in that shootout to give Dallas the win.
Stupid.
Jake Ottinger had a streak over the span of 2 games, 92 minutes shutout streak over VGK before they finally broke through. So they finally scored, I think, on the Mario redirect in that game, the second game. Obviously,
they got 4 past them that game. They got 4 goals past them that game. They lost. VGK lost that one 5-4, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't think it was that high. I think it was a little 3-2. No, okay. In any event, we saw where Dallas comes off of a win over the Flyers, and Robertson last night had a couple of goals. And I was also looking up who owns the tie.
3-2. Okay.
Come on, man. Okay, so. So Dallas owns the tiebreaker actually in that division, which is interesting. You would think that I'm still feeling that we'll see Colorado rise to the top.
Yeah, I mean, listen, well, Colorado's without Cale Makar right now, so that's something that needs to be, Cale Makar has been having some injuries down the stretch. There was a concussion issue, looked like a reoccurring concussion issue, and now there's something else happening. I could be a lower body. Don't 100% quote me on that. They were talking about it a little bit yesterday on the radio, but I mean, the entire situation in the Central and then the last wild card spots is getting extremely interesting right now. Like you said, you got the juggernaut with Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. Minnesota's going to get Kirill Kaprizov back on Saturday. So let's see what type of boost that gives the team as they play their last 4 games. Looking at the bottom side right now, Winnipeg 89, Calgary 89, Nashville 88. Calgary has played one more than Winnipeg and Nashville, but if I'm not mistaken, Nashville honestly is in the driver's seat right now because they have games coming up. Get this, Tony. Saturday, Winnipeg. Monday, Calgary. But then they got a back-to-back against Minnesota, Colorado. So if they can find a way to get 4 points between that Winnipeg and Calgary game, then there's, then they might need to find a way to, win one of those games against Minnesota or Colorado, which is not an easy task, but who knows, maybe the Central will be decided by then and they'll get those teams on the backside of resting some players. So this is the fun time, right? It's nice to be on the inside looking down instead of on the outside looking in, because this was the point last season when we're probably this might have been like the game where we played the Caps down the stretch. They had the lead, and then we wound up winning the game in overtime. The Robin Leonard game where Robin Leonard was pulled after the first. In comes Logan Thompson to save the day. So this is, I think, where we were this time last season, plus or minus a couple of games, and then after that Caps game is when it all went into the pooper scooper, so to speak.
Okay, so last night, VGK against the Kings, the 1-3-1, which we heard ad nauseum. VGK did a really good job in attacking that, and after the game, Cassidy said, "Yeah, we really focused on that." That's Jonathan Quick, right?
Listen, you never know. VGK has struggled mightily against teams that muddy up the neutral zone. One of my tweets before the game was it wasn't necessarily a Vegas versus LA Kings points as much as it was Vegas against the neutral zone and penetrating the neutral zone. Right. There's three ways, 2 or 3 ways to get the puck in, right? You carry the puck with your skill players, find a way, and then you pull up around the hash and you look for a pass and get the puck into plus territory. The other way is to get it deep, go and chase, forecheck, check, wear out the defenseman of the other team, and then that is what's going to open up the neutral zone later in the game when they're worn down and tired. And VGK did not have much trouble. The first couple of shifts, like you saw, Vegas was a little, what's the word I'm thinking of? A little hard-headed. They wanted to carry the puck and LA stopped them. There was, I believe, a power play on the early side where they had a hard time getting in. And then obviously the shorthanded goal was very unfortunate for that to happen. The unfortunate thing about that goal, for me at least, was it was a 5-0 or a 5-1 game at that point. Why are we trying to dance the puck in, get the puck deep, and low event hockey is what the team was looking for. And after the shorty happened, the team did a really good job of realizing the situation. And it's not that they took their foot off the gas by any means, but they certainly stopped taking unnecessary chances. No one got beat deep. Like Nick Hay got beat pretty bad. I believe it was the Nashville game on Tuesday. You didn't see that happen. He was definitely a little better gap control, if you will, so to speak. And listen, it all happened last night. It all worked out. We didn't get best on best. That's, if there's one thing that I wish we would have had last night, I really wanted to see what the playoff version of the Kings is going to look like. Last night was not playoff Kings. It was VGK playoffs, definitely, but that was not the playoff version of the Kings we're going to see next week.
Coming up next, it is that time. It is time for What the Good Friday today, if you will. We'll return with
more. We have to behave then?
What's that?
Do we have to behave then since it's Good Friday?
Sort of. Oh man, I screwed up for Lent. I gave up.
Oh, you swore?
Well, yeah, like a sailor the entire month. So that's on me. Okay,
coming up next, Tony. A for effort.
What the Friday? We'll return with more after this on Locked On Golden Knights. So the NHL's winding down. The NBA playoffs are on the way, and now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because new customers get that no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It is safe, secure, and it's super easy to use. And then you could bet on everything from the money line to the point scores to three-pointers drained in the NBA. And you have the point spread, the money line, the totals you could bet. You could bet everything right there on FanDuel. And it even lets you combine your bets again for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. So don't miss your chance to get the no-sweat first bet. It's up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. Again, that is FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. And we wish everyone very happy Easter this upcoming weekend. Enjoy this weekend with your family, your friends, and such. And, of course, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's Locked On Golden Knights. And, Chris, it is that time again. Now, these weeks just roll around. What the Friday? I'll start off with why. Okay, the team does it. Golden Knights can do it. I think they're entitled to do this on social media. But the fans, WTF? Quit it with putting the X, on your handles on Twitter. Okay, man? Like, just lighten up right there. I mean, WTF? Are you united in the playoffs? You're not the official site of the Golden Knights. That's it. WTF.
WTF. If you're in the front row on the glass, don't stand up. The team gets a goal, something cool happens, fine. But don't stand up as the puck is coming through the neutral zone and pound the glass like an idiot. Just stop it. You've got the best seats in the house, the most exciting seats in the house. Just, relax, keep your butt in that chair and enjoy the game. And hopefully someone throws a Pepsi at your head if you are going to stand up the whole time. That would be very awesome to see. That's a short WTF, a little longer WTF, but we have a good ending out of this. So I'm a season ticket holder. I've been very clear about this. The Vegas Golden Knights, if you have season tickets, you automatically get your playoff tickets. They're not free. You got to pay for them, obviously. And it's all outlined in the contract. There's two ways you can handle your playoff tickets. Option A, you do what's called the Knights vow. That means you are not going to sell your tickets on Access or anywhere else. You are going to attend all the games. As a result, VGK gives you like a 15 or 20% discounts to the public. It's kind of a nice little perk if you know you're going to make all the games. I'm not going to make all the games. I'm going to be in Reno for the first two games, it looks like, unfortunately, for my bowling tournaments. Bad decision by me, but it's okay. I'll be fine. So obviously, just based off that, I opt out because I need to sell my tickets. I don't care about necessarily profiting or anything like that. If I make a couple bucks, fine, so be it. I took a loss on plenty of tickets during the regular season, so it all kind of evens out. I was madder than a hornet on Wednesday when the team did their public on sale, and I did not have my tickets yet. I have paid for the right to sell my tickets. I have paid an extra 15% directly to the Golden Knights. And to make it even better, I have to sell my tickets on Access, who takes a cut. And I'm sure the Vegas Golden Knights are cut into all this as well. Fine. Now, happy ending. I did send a couple of colorful emails. The first one was nice. The second and third, maybe not so much. And then last night during the game, I actually did get my tickets. I do have the ability now to sell them. So we start with a very mad Golic WTF, but Vegas at least made it right and got the tickets into my hands faster. And I hope all the other season ticket members do have their tickets. So if you are a season ticket member watching or listening, make sure you got your tickets. If you don't, hit up your season ticket rep right away and let them know. And this is only if you opted out of the vow, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most teams put their playoff tickets on sale early, and they don't know the times, the start times, or who they're playing, or anything.
VGK knows they got potentially 4 home games right now. We've known that for a week, but yeah,
we've known that for a while. We've got a WTF from Carson Ryland, who says, for WTF, did bounce the puck off me Colasar lose his job tonight? That was last night. Haig appears to be the better fighter. But is he thinking
Colasar's job is not the fight? Stop it. It's not his job. It's not his job.
But is he elite?
Or he's the worst person at his job in the league. He's not a good fighter. But he doesn't want to fight. That's the thing.
WTF from Timothy Hansford, the Avalanche edition, he says, losing Makar like 2 weeks before the playoffs start. WTF, even as a fan of a team that would likely have to play them, the Avalanche without Makar, WTF, that really does stink.
I mean, listen, everyone, wants their team to do well, and you want it to be, done the right way. If someone gets hurt, so be it. But, you don't go in like, let's say we're going to get Winnipeg round 1. We're not going to be sitting here for the next, week hoping kind of Hellebuck, tears an ACL. Like, that's not the way fans of the game think. Listen, if there's a big hit during
the hour last night, you wanted to see them at full strength, the Kings.
I wanted best on best last night. We didn't have best on best. And again, let's credit VGK also. Let's not take anything away from VGK for that. But maybe it was best on best. Maybe the Golden Knights are just that much better. I don't know. WTF Bruce Cassidy. Dude's a genius. Dude is a friggin' genius. Those lines, like, I liked him the second I saw them. And Bruce Cassidy has done almost everything right all season. And what's nice is if he doesn't do it right, he continues to work at it. He's not afraid of doing the team, running the team his way. He doesn't care what I think. He doesn't care what Tony thinks. He doesn't care what you think, the people out there listening to us. He is going to do what he thinks needs to be done to, first of all, make a deep playoff run. So just WTF in a good way, Bruce Cassidy, for being an absolute genius, an absolute pleasure to listen to in every single interview. Makes you a little nervous with the swayometer, but if that's what we're knocking him for, that's not
No,
bad,
great.
considering what we had with Pete DeBoer, just kind of being cool and going through the motions of the pressers and just kind of happy-go-lucky Pete's.
Pete DeBoring is what they called him in Canada. Pete DeBoring.
He's such a good guy, though. But yeah,
I know
he's such a good guy, though. He's all class, and we're knocking him. But I whatever.
No, he's Pete the Beers again, though. He'll be drinking beers if they win, right, in Dallas.
And maybe, I mean, listen, there's a clinch scenario on Saturday. Like if Edmonton, who's Edmonton playing? I mean,
San
WTF, all 32 teams in action on Saturday. WTF. Yes, I got him again.
No NHL team in action tonight, today, tomorrow, every team. The first time this season, the first time ever. Should all 16 teams play, though? Maybe to start the season? Wouldn't that be a cool?
This is the first time ever. Are you saying this is the first time ever?
No. Oh. I just made that up, but it is the first time this season.
Edmonton plays at 1:00 on Saturday too. So VGK is at 12:30. Edmonton's at 1. Now, Edmonton's in San Jose, so let's not get too excited.
Not going to beat them. No, yeah, don't get too excited.
San Jose beat who they beat? They beat the Flames. Whatever. The
Flames.
They're terrible right now.
I can't believe that the Flames, WTF, have lost to your Chicago Blackhawks 3 times this season.
And they almost lost to the Ducks the game before that.
Oh my gosh.
They are flaming out, no pun intended.
Okay, from ROBB at VGK fan 702 also sent in an early submission for Friday's show. Any VGK season ticket holders that are under contract for last season attempt to opt out for this year's playoffs, being told by the rep that STHs have to buy playoff tickets seems dirty, and I really need out of them this year.
It's in the contract, bro.
Dirty?
It's in the contract.
But that's not dirty.
Fine, but it's in the contract, and most fans, not all fans, everyone's situation is different. So I want to make sure I'm respectful towards whatever the reasons are for needing to opt out. But unless you got you're paying $200 plus a ticket, the worst you're going to do is break even, and you're going to launder some money. I mean, call it what it is, right? So you're going to break even. So, you're probably going to make a few bucks if you price them right on access and do it at the right time. So it's unfortunate, but I mean, at the same breath, if you're going to pay $140 a ticket and you get $155 a ticket, okay, fine. You're making a couple bucks. You got some coffee for the next, couple months. You got some free coffee coming up.
WTF, pickleball. I'm disgusted. I'm just disgusted. Here in Las Vegas, the city council accepted a grant award in the amount of $12,009,000 for the development of a regional pickleball.
Don't forget
complex.
The 9,000.
Yeah, this is disgusting, man. 30 courts within the city. Who cares? That was the official sport of the pandemic. Our governor said, "Oh, you can go out and play pickleball." No one even knew what the heck pickleball was, at that time. And now, so Bill Foley's got to get in on this, because he doesn't have to build sheets of ice around the city. You already have the pickleball all set up. You can grow pickleball. You can have the professional pickleball association playing there, at the Dollar Loan Center. And it's just disgusting that we could do so much more with $12,009,000 in this city than build stinking pickleball courts.
Probably outdraw the Silver Knights. Oops, sorry.
Hey, Jordan Papirny, congrats. First win last night.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Congrats.
I wish I would have been paying attention to that.
Yeah, that's all right, man. I tweeted it
Wednesday night, I'm assuming, but yeah.
No, I thought Wednesday night. All right.
Yeah, because the Silver Knights played tonight too. So.
All right. So that wraps it up for WTF. We appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll have our predictions and locks of the night on Twitter. And am I negative? Someone said
locks of the morning.
Someone said that I'm very negative.
No, I mean, whenever you say they're going to lose, they win. So WTF. If Tony says Vegas is going to lose, just roll with it, bro. Just roll with
get ripped. I enjoy it, though. It's so much fun.
Listen, I thought Vegas was going to rise to the occasion. I didn't think it was going to be that type of game, but Vegas has done a very good job rising to the occasion in big games. So it was good to see that last night. And, big game on Saturday. Very big game on Saturday. Tough road game. Dallas needs this game a heck of a lot more than the VGK does. So let's see if VGK can back up the emotional win. Didn't take a toll on the team, but it was an emotional win. Hopefully they're ready for the matinee on Saturday.
All right. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll see you Monday. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas, and we'll see you again right here on Locked On Golden Knights.